take it away.
Awesome. How's everyone going? Cool. Are you guys all here for Pausefest? Yeah? Because I know this is like free, right? So some people are off the street, like not homeless, but yeah. Okay, so a lot of you are. Okay, who here is a Blender user? Your hand? Oh, there's a lot of you. Who here has never touched Blender in their life? All right, cool. All right. It's actually good, because that's kind of what this presentation is about. I'm from Brisbane. Here in Melbourne, you guys have IKEA, right? Yes? Okay, awesome. So, 9 years ago, something big happened at IKEA, because they published this image. Now, it's not unusual for IKEA to be publishing an image of a chair, but in this case it was, because this image is actually, it's CG, photorealistic. And it was something that they'd been experimenting with, and they finally got to the stage where it looked like a photo. So they published it in their catalog. And they actually realized that in doing so, it gave them more customization and control over the final look, so they continued. So over the years, they've been adding more and more of their final images in their catalog, and they've been doing it in CG, in 3D software. Till today, if you actually open up an IKEA catalog and flip through it, 75% of the images are CG. It's crazy, right? Did anybody here know that? Heard the story? No? It's crazy. 75% look like photos, they're actually not. So that's what I'm here to talk about, photorealism. My name is Andrew Price. I run a website called Blender Guru. Has anybody here heard of it? All right. Oh, phew. Cool. Awesome. All right. So we're going to be talking for the next 20 minutes about the paradigm shift of photorealism and how businesses like IKEA are learning the advantages of it, and they're switching over from other mediums to CG imagery. And I'll then introduce you to Blender, a free piece of software that you can start using today to create photorealism. So we're going to start with why photorealism is so important. And then we're going to do that. Then we're going to give some examples of some industry photorealism. Then we're going to play a little game I created called Blender or Photo. There's going to be a little prize for that as well, so you can stick around. And then we're going to talk about how to get started in Blender if that was something you were interested in. All right, sound good? Yes, maybe? Awesome. The people that are standing at the back, by the way, there's like a bunch of cardboard stuff. You can like sit on some cardboard if you want. I don't know, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of crowding around at the back. All right, so let's talk about the importance of photorealism. So whether in the entertainment industry, advertising, or even photography, CG artists who understand photorealism are in high demand right now. So let's do a short little reel of where it's in need. First off, Hollywood. So directors rely on photorealism to tell their stories. It's when you're telling a story about something that doesn't exist, like the Avengers, for example, they have to rely on CG imagery. And it's important that it looks photorealistic, otherwise it doesn't blend in with the actors. So photorealism is increasing in high demand in Hollywood as they try and do new things like Gravity. It's also in use in low-budget films, like this one, Stalingrad, but they don't have the money for full sets, so they do a lot of it in CG or visual effects, and it gives them that big look. Boom, how cool is that? And so it gives them that low budget, because it's cheaper, but a big budget look. Likewise, Game of Thrones fans here? Yeah, awesome. TV shows are on the rise, and they're increasingly trying to impress their audiences with Hollywood-level visuals. So again, they're trying to go for that large scale, and they're trying to get large scale. So they need photorealistic CG imagery for that. Gaming is a huge one. AAA games, the title's example, the biggest example. And the gamers nowadays are increasingly choosing to purchase a game based on how photorealistic it looks. That's why they release tech demos with games now, along with their trailers. It's why, like game reviewers, they have like a graphics score, and so these are hundreds of artists, and they're working on these projects to try to create environments and a situation where the player feels like they're actually there. Commercials are changing well. as well. So it used to be like entirely, camera-based, but like car commercials, for example, are now being, a lot of them being done entirely in CG because it's cheaper than hiring a whole bunch of stunt drivers. And there's even new technologies being, or new, areas that are being invented, like real-time architectural visualization. This is really cool. I don't know who here has seen this already, but on YouTube it's making waves. This is, it's really new, and it enables architects to sell a house or an apartment that doesn't even exist yet. So you can, pop on an Oculus Rift like what's over there. The customer can have a virtual walkthrough of their house, push some furniture around, change the color. And so this is where, technology is today. We can get that photorealistic look, and so they need artists to do that. So, in a nutshell, if you're in the CG field, photorealism is definitely something you should be looking at right now. It's a really highly sought after skill, that attention to detail, being able to see how to make something look photorealistic. There's a lot of job opportunities in Hollywood, TV shows, and gaming, as we just discussed, as well as freelancing opportunities for smaller studios. So in summary, there's a lot of money on the table, and there's a lot of jobs available. But, there's always a but. Unfortunately, it's expensive. If you're not yet in the field, or you don't know 3D software, you're looking to get into it, or you're not yet at the level where you can achieve that photorealistic look, there's a cliff to climb, and the cliff is made of money. If you want to start out, doing commercial work, you're going to need a piece of software, obviously. At 3ds Max, for example, that's one software, that's going to set you back 5,175 Australian dollars. You're going to need a rendering engine to go with that. V-Ray is an example. It's almost $2,000 for that. But the biggest price actually comes in the training. So for a lot of this commercial software that's out there, there isn't that many free alternatives online. Like, you can't. There's a few YouTube videos online, like tutorials you might see here and there, but there's not a lot of. A lot of it is actually stored inside universities. It's where a lot of the teachers go, and so what you end up having to do is actually sign on for a full course. So a course at AES in Australia for 3D animation and design, 2-year diploma is going to set you back at about $37,000. So, this is a standard cost that you'd be looking at, if you wanted to become, a lawyer or a doctor. Like, that's fine, because when you finish it, you come out with a diploma, a piece of paper, and then you can get a job. But in this industry, that's not how it works. You walk in to a job interview and show them your little diploma on a piece of paper, and they tell you to put it in the bin and just show me your reel. They don't care about it. So there's no job guarantee, and that's the problem. It's all this money up front, and worst of all, there's a risk that you might not even like it. Who here knows somebody that started a course in something but then quit because it wasn't for them or it wasn't what they expected? Pretty much all of us, right? And that's the problem. You don't know until you try something. So there's all this money up front for people that want to try and start, and then they can end up not liking it. And so it's a huge cliff of money. Which is why I'd like to introduce you to the alternative, which is Blender. So this is the route that I took 11 years ago. I was in high school, and I was playing Need for Speed when I should have been studying. And I loved the cars in it, like the 3D cars, spinning around and stuff. And I wanted to make it. And so I went online, tried to find some software, came across 3ds Max, Maya, all those ones. I was like, $5,000, I don't have that in my pocket today. So I kept looking, and then I came across Blender and discovered it's 100% open source, meaning free. So you can download, do whatever you want with it. So I downloaded it, and then using the community tutorials that were available, I taught myself how to use it. So that's one of the great things about Blender, is that it has this huge community of people that are willing to help each other. So the website there on the left, that's mine, Blender Guru, and the one on the right there, CG Cookie. So together we release regular tutorials, and most of them are free. They're all on YouTube, and you can just start learning today. So the program is free, training's free, you can get started and see at least if you like it. And the other really cool thing is that it is a 3D software suite. So the reason we call it a suite is that you can do stuff with Blender that you really shouldn't be able to do. Like, you can model the character, you can sculpt them, you can do the texturing, you can rig them, animate them, do the effects simulation of their hair, their cloth, as they run. You can then do camera tracking even, and then put the character together with the backplate using the powerful node-based compositors with Blender. It's really cool. You can even do video editing as well. So you can finish it all and then composite it with music and sound effects. It's crazy. So that's why there are entire productions at some smaller studios around the world that are now just using Blender exclusively and doing it all inside Blender, which is really cool. So, big question you get after that is it any good? Because there's no point, something's free, starting it if it's no good. And in this case, can it actually achieve photorealism? If you'd asked me that 3 years ago, I probably would have said no, not really capable. Yeah, Campbell agrees, right? Not really capable of achieving photorealism. But about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, we got Cycles. The Cycles rendering engine for Blender. And that enables you to get photorealistic results. So this is an animation that I produced about a year ago. It only took about a week to make. And basically the Cycles rendering engine now puts it at the level of other software. You can now get that super realistic result. It calculates all the right light bounces, the translucencies, the reflections, all that stuff. So you can now get that photorealistic result all inside Blender, all without leaving it. It's all free, so why not? So that's Blender. You can achieve photorealistic results with it. It's 100% open source. It runs on any operating system as well. It doesn't matter if you're on Windows, Linux. Any Linux users here? Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a couple, right? What are they? Windows, Mac, Linux. It's been going 13 years strong, and the community is growing as people are discovering there's a lot of training available, a lot of studios are switching over to it. And there's free tutorials. So for those of you, actually show of hands, who would actually be interested in just trying out Blender, giving it a go? Yeah? Alright, cool. So this is what you should do. Here's a little quick rundown. So the first thing you want to do is download Blender. To do that, you just go to blender.org. Like I said, any operating system you got, there's a download link available for it. Then you want to learn the basics of Blender. To do that, you want to watch the Blender Basics series on CG Cookie, and that'll teach you how to use the interface, how to do some basic things, adding cubes and making some basic objects, just to get you up to speed. Once you've got the basics handled, you can move on to some more sort of intermediate to advanced tutorials. This is a tutorial of mine that'll teach you how to create realistic materials, which is really important for photorealism. And then there's this other tutorial here you can watch of mine, Secrets of Realistic Texturing. Both of those are free. All of that's free, actually, by the way. So you can just start watching that straight away. And for the people that want to take it to the next step, I have a paid course available for people who are interested called the Architecture Academy. And that was what was featured in the SIGGRAPH showreel before. And this teaches you how to model something to scale, do the correct texturing, grunge maps, do the correct lighting, environment lighting, all that stuff, which will enable you to get that photorealistic looking result. So that is it in a nutshell. All of it there just to anybody wanting to take notes. All right. So, awesome. All right, done. Thanks very much.